Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Monday, November 7th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So typically in these videos, I like to go over a recap of yesterday's picks. Unfortunately, we haven't had picks since Friday. Friday was an interesting slate overall. Picks were pretty good besides Cam Johnson tearing his meniscus and Joseph Nurkic not doing too well overall, or just kind of disappointing compared to expectations. There was a ton of value on Friday's slate. One of those crazy slates where everybody just kind of gets ruled out and there's just almost too much value at the same time. But with that being said, we'll get into the injuries and play for today's slate. It is a 15-game main slate overall, which is a massive slate. So there could be a lot of value opening up throughout the day. At this point in time, the value is not super crazy, but there is still some pretty good value picks there at that. And then after that, we'll get into the core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel as well. But once again, I'm going to start out with the injuries and play for tonight's slate overall. It's a pretty interesting slate when you look at some of these times too. We got a lot of 15-minute intervals instead of half-hour intervals. We're going to start right at 7 o'clock Eastern time with the Washington Wizards, who are without DeLon Wright. Bradley Beal lists his game time decision questionable to play, but he is in the COVID protocol. I probably assume that he's not going to play tonight. So Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis, Monty Morris, all looking a little bit better tonight. We'll see if Corey Kispert gets that start at shooting guard tonight or not. And then on the opposite side, we got LaMelo Ball and Gordon Hayward both out once again. Cody Martin is doubtful to play, and Dennis Smith Jr. is questionable after rolling his ankle last time out. Terry Rozier did return to this team, so he's going to be in play. He's a decent value, but he got priced up a little bit as well. Moving over to the Rockets, which start 15 minutes later, who are without Bruno Fernando and Jayshawn Tate once again. Ty Washington is questionable to play. He's not yet made his debut for the season. We'll see if he makes that tonight or not. And then we got Jalen Green and Jabari Smith, both listed as game time decisions, but both expected to play tonight. For the Orlando Magic, they are without Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, and Mo Wagner, so no real changes since the last time out. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are without Povashevsky tonight, so there is going to be some minutes opening up. We'll see what the starting lineup looks like. We'll see how their rotations shake out. But they've been running some really weird rotations this year. So there's not a ton of value there as it would be like compared to if it was some other team. On the Pistons side, Marvin Bagley is doubtful to play. And then we have Jalen Duran and Alex Burst both listed as questionable at this point in time. We'll see if they're back tonight or not. For the Pelicans, they are without Kira Lewis and EJ Liddell once again. Zion Williamson is listed as questionable, but sounds like his leg injury that he had was just most likely cramps in the most recent game. So he is probably going to play tonight. For the Pacers, they're without Chris Duarte and Daniel Tice. Aaron Nesmith is listed as questionable to play. He's missed a few games now. Personally, I kind of lean on the side that he's not playing tonight. And then we have Nembhard, who is also listed as questionable to play, but he is more likely to play tonight. Probably not going to make too big an impact either way, though. And then we get down to the Phoenix Suns, who are without Dwayne Washington, Wainwright, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder. And then they do have Campaign listed as questionable play. I do believe he missed the last time out as well. Obviously, DeAndre Ayton's been back for a couple games now. And then we have Torrey Craig likely to be in that starting lineup. We saw Dario Saric play some pretty good minutes last time out as well. So maybe one of those two guys are interesting GPP plays. For the Philadelphia 76ers, James Harden is obviously out still, as he's out probably for a month. Daniel House is questionable to play, did not play last time out. And then we have Joel Embiid, who's been dealing with an illness, but sounds like Doc Rivers said there's a 75% chance he plays tonight, so should be getting him back tonight overall. Otherwise, there could be some more value on the 76ers team overall. For the Milwaukee Bucks, they are without Pat Connaughton, AJ Green, Joe Ingles, Chris Middleton, all once again. And then Mamu's listed as questionable play, not too big a factor overall. Giannis is listed as probable with his knee soreness, I believe it is. Missed the last time out, should be good to go this time. Then for the Atlanta Hawks, they're without Bogdan Bogdanovic. And then Trae Young listed as questionable to play. We'll see if he plays tonight or not. If he doesn't, then DeJounte Murray is going to be a lot better play. John Collins is probably going to be more in play as well. And then whoever ends up in that starting spot for the fifth starter for them overall. And then we move over to the Portland Trailblazers. Olivier Sarr and Gary Payton II are both out once again. Anthony Simons listed as doubtful at this point in time. Damian Lillard listed as questionable. We'll see if he makes his return tonight or not. We have Justice Winslow and Josh Hart both listed as game time decisions, but both expected to play. Justice Winslow did end up rolling his ankle last time out, so we'll see if he's good to go as well as Damian Lillard, because those are kind of be the two big spots for this team overall tonight. And then we have the Miami Heat, who are without Omar Yurtseven and Victor Oladipo once again. Tyler Hero listed as questionable to play. He is also dealing with an ankle sprain, so we'll see if he's around tonight or not. Obviously, if he isn't, it's probably going to be Max Strus in that starting lineup once again. And then maybe Gabe Vincent gets some value as well, but 15-game slate may not have to go there overall either way. Moving down to the Toronto Raptors, we have Khem Birch listed as questionable to play. We'll see if he plays or not. He's been dealing with a knee issue. And then Pascal Siakam is out for the next couple of weeks. So could open up some value for guys like Chris Boucher, Christian Koloko, Precious Achiuwa, guys like that. Then on the Bulls side of the game, Lonzo Ball is still out. Andre Drummond's doubtful to play. Kobe White has missed like 4 games now with his quad, which I didn't think was going to be that big an issue, but apparently it's kind of turned into bigger than that. He is still questionable to play at this point in time. Zach LaVine is questionable, but he sat out yesterday, so he should be good to go tonight. Not too worried about him overall. Should be a decent play on both sides as well. For the Boston Celtics, they're without Danilo Gallinari, Luke Cornett, and Robert Williams, so Cornett's kind of the new one there. Not too worried about that overall. Should be a pretty simple Boston lineup once again, and rotations-wise. Then for the Memphis Grizzlies, Danny Green, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Zaire Williams are all out once again, so they're pretty much as healthy as they're going to be at this point in time. Moving down to the New York Knicks, they have Quentin Grimes listed as questionable play, and then Mitchell Robinson's out. Isaiah Hartenstein played a ton of minutes last time out. Going to look like a pretty strong play overall once again tonight. Then for the Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert is out. Sounds like Karl Anthony Towns is going to play center tonight, and Kyle Anderson slide into that starting lineup, so he's going to be a decent value on both sides as well. You can go to Karl Anthony Towns if you want to do so as well. And then we move over to the Denver Nuggets, who are without Colin Gillespie once again. Ish Smith and Zeke Naji both doubtful to play. Jeff Green is probable once again. Seems like he randomly pops up as probable from time to time for whatever reason. For the Spurs side, Wesley is out once again. Romeo Langford and Zach Collins both questionable to play. We'll see if they end up playing tonight or not. Both have missed a couple games at this point in time. And then Hall, this is a game time decision, but expected to play. Not a major piece off their bench either way. Moving down to the Brooklyn Nets, we got Kyrie Irving and TJ Warren both out. Ben Simmons listed as questionable. Looks like Seth Curry should be back for this game tonight. We'll see how many minutes he plays. Not sure off the top of my head what his price tag was, but he could be in play as kind of like a GPP option tonight overall. Then for the Dallas Mavericks, they're without Davis Bertans and Frank Ntilikina once again, so no real changes there. Sacramento Kings are all the way healthy at this point in time. And then for the Golden State Warriors, we have Dante DiVincenzo listed as out, and then Andrew Wiggins, Andre Iguodala, and Steph Curry all listed as questionable to play tonight. I do assume that Curry and Wiggins both end up playing. They just sat out on the back-to-back on Friday, along with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. Andre Iguodala is probably the bigger one to watch there, but not really relevant for DFS on tonight's slate. And then we move over to the Lakers, who are without Patrick Beverley, Thomas Bryant, Dennis Schroeder, and Cole Switter once again. So no real changes there. Pretty similar to what we saw yesterday. And then for the Utah Jazz, we have Balmaro and Jared Vanderbilt, both listed as questionable play. We'll see if either one of them ends up playing tonight. And then we move over to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are without Ricky Rubio. And then we have Dylan Windler listed as questionable play, probably not in the rotation either way, though. And then for the Clippers side, they are without John Wall, Kawhi Leonard. Luke Kennard is listed as doubtful at this point in time, and Reggie Jackson is listed as questionable. So they're running a little bit thin there. Terrence Mann is a guy that I like quite a bit. He's relatively cheaply priced on both sites tonight. So if you're looking for a cheap value option, Terrence Mann could be there, although he is not in my core overall, but probably going to be like the 6th, 7th guy in some of my lineups overall as well. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for tonight's slate. Obviously, a lot of different start times for games, a lot of things that we're going to be watching overall. If anything does change throughout the day, especially injury-wise, I'll leave it down in the comments. And I'll also be sure to try to list as many of the starting lineups as possible, especially for the early games overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Darius Garland. He is $6,900, still a pretty reasonable price tag for him overall. You're looking for 35 points out. Goes against the Clippers tonight, and he's averaging just over 38 fantasy points per game on the season. Currently, I'm projected for 37 tonight. Should be a pretty solid play. Maybe one that changes throughout the day as well, though. Then we move down to shooting guard with DeAnthony Melton. He's $5,300. We're looking for 26, 27 fantasy points at him. He's averaging just over 23 on the season, but obviously he's playing bigger minutes. He's been in that starting lineup pretty regularly as of late. Currently, I'm projected for 28, 29 fantasy points tonight. Then we move down to a small forward with OG Anunoby. He's $6,200. Obviously, this Toronto team lets their guys play a ton of minutes. There's no Pascal Siakam. He's going to get more rebounding opportunities and everything like that. Maybe a little bit of shots as well, but $6,200. We're only looking for 31 fantasy points on him. He's averaging 35 so far in the season. Currently, I'm projected for 36, and like the last 4 games, he's been like up over 40. So he really looks like a pretty good play tonight. They go against the Chicago Bulls, who don't have the greatest defense in the world as well. So maybe that's an extra added bonus as well. And then we move down to power forward and his teammate in Chris Boucher. He's $4,400. So we're only looking for 22 points out of him tonight. He's averaging 24 in the season. Currently, I'm projected for 28 tonight. If he gets hot, This is a guy that can help you take down a GPP overall because he doesn't need too much in terms of minutes. If he gets 28, 30 minutes, there's a chance that he goes for 40 points tonight. You're getting 10x out of Chris Boucher at $4,400. Going to look pretty good overall. Then last but not least, at the center position, we got Isaiah Hartenstein. Probably going to be one of the more popular plays on tonight's slate overall, but he is $5,200. We're looking for 26 fantasy points out of him. He's averaging 25.5 on the season. And that's without him even starting or playing monster minutes. Right now, I have him currently projected for 28, 29 points tonight on the DraftKings side. Definitely could have a higher upside for more, especially if he gets the minutes once again in tonight's game. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, I'll have $22,000 on the dot remaining. Just over $7,300 per player. If you really want to pay up for somebody, you can definitely do that, whether it's a Giannis, a Luka Doncic. You could pair in a Kyle Anderson. You could pair in a Terrence Mann. There's lots of different options out there. There's probably going to be some other value options that do open up throughout the day. So just keep an eye out for that overall. Or if you wanted to build a little bit more balanced build, you could definitely do that. It's probably going to be a different strategy than most people are applying so far today. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So on the FanDuel side, at point guard, we're going Fred VanVleet. He's $7,200. Looking for 36 points out of him. He's averaging almost 40 so far on the season. Missed a couple games with back injury. Came back yesterday. Played a ton of minutes. He played extremely well. So I really don't have any concerns for him going forward unless they just randomly sit him on the back-to-back, which is a possibility. But going against the Chicago Bulls, pretty favorable matchup there overall. You're only looking for 36 fantasy points out of him. I got him projected for 37, 38 tonight. Definitely has some upside for more as well, especially with no Pascal Siakam in the lineup tonight. Then at shooting guard, we're going to go with Jalen Suggs. 2 games ago, very strong performance versus the Warriors. $5,900, looking for 29, 30 points on him. Currently, I'm projected for 30 tonight. Goes against a poor Houston Rockets defense. Going to be running that point guard position for this team overall. Could be another good game for him. Can't really say too much here at this point in time, but just a very favorable matchup, a reasonable price tag, and trying to shoot for some upside in GPPs overall here today. Then at small forward, we're going to go Kyle Anderson. He's only $3,600, probably in that starting lineup for the Minnesota Timberwolves today. And you're only looking for 18 fantasy points out of him. Got him projected for about 20-21. Has some upside for more if he gets the minutes, and he's playing rather well. Then we move down to power forward with Isaiah Hartenstein at $5,400, looking for 26 fantasy points out of him. On the FanDuel side, he's averaging almost 27 per game. Now you factor in more minutes, no Mitchell Robinson. Going to be a very strong performer tonight. Currently, I'm projected for 28, 29 points, but definitely has some upside for more as well as we've seen in the past. And then last but not least, I have Chris Boucher at $5,300. Obviously, the price tag is quite a bit higher on the FanDuel side overall, so we're looking for about 26, 27 fantasy points. Currently, I'm projected for 28 tonight, but this is definitely a guy that has that very high upside. You can also play him at the power forward position if you want to play like a Nikola Jokic, a Joel Embiid, or someone else at that center position as well. So a little bit of flexibility there as well. But definitely going to be an interesting slate. Stars and scrubs builds probably going to be pretty easy to do on the FanDuel side overall. When you stick in guys like Kyle Anderson, a Terrence Mann, Isaiah Hartenstein, that's not too expensive overall. If you're putting Chris Boucher in there, some of these other guys, there's a lot of different options, a lot of different ways that you can build, especially on FanDuel tonight overall. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 guys that I do have here, you'll have $32,800 remaining, $8,200 per player. So a good amount of that flexibility there. You can definitely pay up for 2 studs and then kind of build around that as well. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, November 7th. As always, if you have any questions regarding NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. Also, be sure to note whether it's a FanDuel specific or a DraftKings specific question, so I can help you as best as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's site, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings, whether it's someone from my core 5, whether it's a completely different player you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. And then as always, I'll be listing the injury updates throughout the day, as many as these starting lineups as I can, especially early on in the night. Might get mixed up a little bit in there with my live stream for the NFL DFS, but definitely be sure to check that out as well. If you're on there too, I'll try to mention that a little bit for the NBA side. It's always a little interesting when you're doing multiple sports at once, but I definitely try to make the work as best as possible and to help you guys out as much as possible. But with that being said, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at CoachCraigSports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we have NBA DFS and NFL DFS. And then with that being said, if you are a newer current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily NBA DFS Core Picks Monday through Friday. maybe add in the weekends in the future, but at this point in time, just the Monday through Friday. I also have the weekly NFL DFS Core Pick video, which comes out typically on Friday or Saturday, and then the live streams for the single game showdown slates for Monday night and Thursday night football, mainly focused on the DraftKings side, but there are also a few people that tune in that specifically play on FanDuel, so I try to touch on that towards the end if I have time to do so as well. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.